mock it. The two quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks, mock it as if they're in. They make the call. So, but he doesn't have to change a whole lot for this part because he prepares himself that way, anyways. But Pat's a great example of how to go about it, and he's watched him close, and he's followed right in suit there. Yeah.
And did you see a path for Damian Pierce to potentially play this week?
Probably not this week. Yeah, probably not this week, but we'll see about the following week. Yeah.
Andy, how would you evaluate Nagy as offensive coordinator this year?
Yeah, phenomenal. I mean, we were on a record pace there for a bit as far as statistically. So he does a nice job there.
And I know there's been some reports about his contract, last year's contract with the Chiefs. I guess, what do you see as his potential future?
Yeah, I think he deserves to be a head football coach in this league. So that's exciting for him.
Okay, guys. Thanks, guys.
All right, so that was Andy Reid speaking briefly there to the media ahead of Chiefs and Broncos on Christmas night. Injury front, nobody practicing out of these names at least. Trent McDuffie still doing with the knee. Nico Remigio, a knee. Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton are both still in concussion protocol. That's interesting. Also, Jalen Watson, he said he's dealing with a muscle injury in the, quote, groin area. That was how Andy Reid described it. So once again, the Chiefs could have no Trent McDuffie and now maybe no Jalen Watson going up against, a wide receiver room there in Denver. It obviously doesn't set up very well for the Chiefs on Christmas night. That was the injury news that we learned from Andy Reid. So if you go on there, you can try to find the updated stream. Sorry about that. Coming up at 12:30, Danon Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, going to join us, and we'll get his perspective on Arrowhead, some of the memories from Arrowhead. And look, we got 5 years to talk about memories of Arrowhead. Discuss this wide receiver situation for the Chiefs heading in to the Broncos game, including not only their wide receivers, they're out, but the Chiefs now also going to be out. It looks like maybe 2 corners for this game in a couple days. So we'll get to that in just a bit. I mentioned earlier we are going to have part 2 of our interview with Mitch Holthus. Don't forget your KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1, HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Station here on Cody and Gold. I want to go ahead and play part 2 of that conversation that Mitch Holthus had with Clark Hunt, Chiefs chairman and CEO, about the move to Kansas.
What about staying competitive here and having a world-class practice facility and headquarters that you're going to build in Olathe?
Yeah, Mitch, that's exactly right. There's been a wave of new practice facilities built across the NFL, and as great as our facility is at the Truman Sports Complex, it is 18 years old, and we've outgrown it, both on the football side as well as the business side. The new facilities are much more spacious, have bigger indoor practice facilities, bigger weight rooms, bigger training rooms, and it'll be important for us as an organization going forward to have a facility that's competitive. Players, when they come in for free agency, that's one of the things that they're evaluating is the quality of your facilities. So having a brand new state-of-the-art facility will really help us as we continue to build the team and hopefully get back to the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
Again, Chairman and CEO Clark Hunt of the Kansas City Chiefs, our special guest tonight on this special edition of the Chiefs Kingdom Show. The timing of the announcement on 22nd of December, why the timing and why today?
Well, the state of Kansas had a scheduled committee meeting of the group that had the authority to approve our deal set on this date. It was important for us that we get this done before the end of the year because we only have 5 years left on our lease. Our lease at Arrowhead expires after the 2030 season. And the construction cycle to design and build a new stadium is about 5 years, 5 to 5.5 years. So we really need to get going on this project. And, we were grateful that we were able to reach an agreement with the leaders in Kansas And we'll go very quickly to work now in terms of getting a design firm on board and a contractor soon after that, so that we can be ready for construction in about 2 years from now.
You had a really good quote today. The franchise has had 3 home stadia. But looking at this historically, I know it was difficult when your father had to leave the Cotton Bowl. It was difficult leaving Municipal Stadium. But what about the approach no matter?
Championship at Municipal Stadium, it was Super Bowl IV. And then, of course, at Arrowhead, we've had our recent run of 5 Super Bowls and 3 Lombardi trophies. So we've had success at each one of these venues, and it does, create a sentimental attachment to those buildings. But the important thing is to think about the future and what's going to keep us competitive as a franchise, what's going to continue to make our great fan base, the Chiefs Kingdom, proud about attending Chiefs games. And we really think just having a state-of-the-art facility that, conceivably could last for 50 to 60 years is the best thing for the franchise, for the fan base, and the community.
And the community, I mentioned at the outset of the show, we're the 31st market in the country. But when you add in 61st market in Tulsa, 69th market, I believe, in Wichita, Hutchinson, the 70s in the markets of Springfield and places like Omaha, which have been magnetized to this area, how much does this enhance even more so with the activation of this facilities?
Well, one of the great things about our fan base, and Mitch, you know this well, is how much it's grown over the last decade. And, part of that is from the surrounding states who have always been part of the Chiefs Kingdom, but we certainly have many more fans in those markets today than we did historically. But the Chiefs Kingdom has really exploded here over the last 5 or 6 years. At the end of last year, we had the #1 fan base in North America for any NFL franchise. And in the markets that the league tracks internationally, we were also #1 in most of those markets. So we've had a lot of fan base growth. If you walk the parking lots at Arrowhead on game day, you'll find fans from all over the country as well as internationally. We have a lot of Canadian fans who I bump into when I'm out walking around the parking lots, and they just love the opportunity to attend a game in Kansas City, and we'll really be able to take that to another level with this new facility.
We've seen it even here on our Monday night shows. We got fans here tonight from Washington, D.C. and from San Diego that are visiting tonight. We've had international fans almost every show that come to a game, and then they stay over and want to experience everything. And now with the new facility and starting in 2031, there's going to be even a lot more to experience with this, what you announced today, as we move forward. I want to ask you, though, about the priority of the fans, because your dad, probably more than any owner of any professional sports franchise I've ever seen, put fans first. But you have also done the same thing. What about the priority of making fans first, and how much of that went into this decision to make the move that you announced today?
Well, Mitch, one of the things that we did about a year ago as we were working through this decision is we did a survey of our fans, and we asked them about potentially moving to a new facility. And the response was very, very positive, but they did emphasize 2 things that were very important to them. One is the facility had to be loud. It had to be loud like Arrowhead is. And then secondly, they were very focused on the tailgating experience, which of course is one of the great things that our fans and football fans across the country enjoy when they come to a game at Arrowhead. So as we begin this design process and sort of think about the product, it'll definitely have our fans in mind, and we'll have a focus not only on it being loud, which by virtue of it being a dome, I think it's likely to be really loud, but more importantly, we'll also make sure that the tailgating experience is as good as, if not better than, what we have at Arrowhead today.
Because that's been a lot of discussion as well. We won't have tailgating anymore, and what you're saying is it could be even enhanced.
No, that's exactly right. There's a trend across the National Football League with some of these new stadiums to really shrink the parking lots, and we'll actually go in the opposite direction. We'll want the parking facilities to be of the same size, if not bigger, than what we have today at Arrowhead.
And something else you mentioned today that I think, to put it in perspective, is this is going to take 5 years to build these facilities, the stadium for sure. But that gives us time to give a real focus on GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium, because we're not leaving tomorrow, right? And it starts with Thursday night with this game against the Broncos. What about going out in style with our current facility as we launch forward in the next generation or generations with the new facility?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mentioned on the call earlier how so many of us have special memories from Arrowhead, and we're going to celebrate the stadium over the next 5 years. We'll cherish every game that we play there. I think many fans will have the same emotions that I'll have going to the games, knowing that the end is coming, 5 years down the road. But we're fortunate to have a great facility like Arrowhead, and we just look forward to finishing up our time there and really celebrating those special moments that we've all had across the years.
We're going to let you go, but we also need to circle back and realize how difficult this has been a decision for you and your family because of the emotion involved here, but also the excitement as you push forward. One final thing you would say to the Kingdom before we let you go tonight.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank the Kingdom for the unbelievable support across the decades. The last decade particularly has been so special, and I know we've made a lot of great memories together at Arrowhead, but I would ask the Kingdom to think about the great memories that we'll make together at this new facility. It's going to be absolutely state-of-the-art. It'll be the best in the National Football League, and I look forward to celebrating many more years of Chiefs football at this new facility.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's send him into the night. But Clark, we are so appreciative.
All right, so that was Mitch Holthus wrapping up his conversation last night with the Chiefs chairman and CEO, Clark Hunt. We'll get to some of your text here in a second as well, 913-586-7965. Look, I think while there's a nostalgia and if you are Clark Hunt, I don't know any owner and any business owner, let alone NFL owner, that would not have accepted the deal that Kansas put together. $1.8 billion in public money. As we said earlier, that's the largest public subsidy ever for a U.S. sports stadium. That's never happened. You pick whatever new stadium project is going on even right now. Buffalo, Nashville with the Titans Stadium, reports of what the Denver Broncos are doing, what the Cleveland Browns want to do, what Chicago wants to do. This is the largest amount of public money ever for a stadium. You're not turning that down. Right? So as much as we've gone through and talked about the missteps on the Missouri side, and there certainly have been plenty, whether you want to put the blame all on Frank White or whether it's Quentin Lucas, whether it's the rollout around the vote and the site change for the Royals and how it was tied with the Royals and the renovation plan that was not all that impressive with the last ballot measure in April for the Chiefs renovation. All those things I think are very true, by the way. I don't know if this amount of money is anything you can turn down. $1.8 billion for a $3 billion stadium. I just don't think it was as tough a decision as everybody's making it out to be when you factor in a billionaire owner and his family getting $1.8 billion towards a brand new stadium.
And even if it was a tough decision, ultimately you're gonna, and maybe that's what it was, is, hey, they said they come up with a decision on Friday. Maybe it's we really got to sit down and reevaluate this. Yes, we love Arrowhead and all of what it has been and all of what it will continue to be until the time comes, but is this something that we really pass? Like, is this too good of an opportunity to pass up? And it feels like, as difficult of a decision as it is, that this was the case. I do see a lot of people are texting about the whole dome thing.
Yeah, no, and that is the part that I think if you want to, there's a lot of things people could be upset about, and it's everybody's right to have an opinion. But I think the dome part is the toughest part, even for me, somebody that wanted them to build a new stadium, right? I want the Royals to be downtown, but I wanted the Chiefs to build a new stadium. And I recognize just about all the new stadiums are being built as a dome now. Now, Buffalo's not. Buffalo's choosing a different path, but Clark Hunt had said I don't know if it was that conversation with Mitch Holthus or earlier today when we played you what he had to say with Bob Fesco out in Topeka with you guys yesterday, that the state of Kansas wanted a dome because that is the only way that they have a chance to have all these other events. And I'm not saying that you should personally necessarily care about that. I'm just telling you why they are going with it. I'm with you. I wanted an open air stadium. Duh. Growing up in Kansas City, the advantage you get with an open air stadium, the memories that we all have, going to a playoff game in January and that entire experience and bringing in the cardboard to stand on and all that. Now, there's some of you listening, because I saw the text earlier, there's some of you listening that are like, hey, I can't wait for the 70 degrees inside the building and not have to wear a coat inside the stadium in January. There's some of you that also have that viewpoint. As we said, this is a very divided conversation, whether it's the move in its own right from Missouri to Kansas, whether we're talking about the type of stadium. But yeah, I would prefer an open air. That's just not happening. The question is it a true dome, Drew, or is it a retractable roof? And the only time I've heard Clark Hunt mention retractable roof was with Bob yesterday when Bob asked him about it, and he said they had not made a decision on whether it was a dome or a retractable roof. And a lot of these stadiums that have been building the retractable roof, Drew, they only have the roof open like 3 nights a year anyway. Well, if that's the point, then the retractable roof doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, I think there's an argument for that. Like what the plan is going forward. Like if you're going to all the way until October or November have the roof open for Chiefs games, then hey, that might be something worth looking into. I think that I'm curious because I think we've discussed this before, but let's say they didn't move to Kansas. If they built a new stadium in Missouri, it was still going to be a dome.
Correct.
Or whatever Clark Hunt's saying. That doesn't change anything as to what it was going to be.
Yeah, it would have been a dome, but they never got to that point because, and I think Mark Donovan was asked about this yesterday, they never got to a new stadium proposal in Missouri because they didn't believe the funding mechanisms at that level existed in the state of Missouri. It was one thing to try to get a renovation done. They didn't believe a new stadium financially was feasible.
The plan
has
always been a dome or retract or whatever that was going to be, whatever they want it to be.
Yeah,
right now.
an open air stadium was never going to really be in play. But I get why people are bummed about it for sure. Totally. The advantage you get by being outdoors from a home field advantage, massive, and you are going to lose that aspect of it.
It is. It's not anti-football necessarily, but I will say going to see football games, it's an outdoor game. Like I think that, from the high school level, of course, whatever, like Pee Wee level, like even to high school and college, it is an outdoor thing, and I understand why there's some people who are. I think everybody is really, quite frankly, I think if it's a dome, I don't know anybody who would be ecstatic that it's that way. I know that there's people who are, it's nice to not have to wear a coat inside, but it doesn't. It wouldn't feel like football the same way that we're used to consuming it, not just here in Kansas City, but just in general from a high school perspective, a college perspective. Like football's an outdoor game. It's not supposed to be necessarily played indoors. I understand it.
There's no denying. The experience is going to be different. Does it mean that the experience, fast forward 15 years from now, that we're all not saying it's a good experience in the new stadium? We have to see way more details on what the stadium is going to look like. Because the one rendering that everybody is sharing, remember, that's not from the Chiefs. That was a local group, I don't know, this past summer maybe, or a year ago. I can't remember when that all played out, that they put out that rendering. Like anybody that's been on like Facebook or social media, whatever rendering you've seen, that's not directly from...
Yeah, the one that looks like Allegiant or whatever,
I'm not saying that it can't look similar to that, but that's not the official rendering. The Chiefs have not come out with a official new stadium rendering. Now, it might end up being very similar to it, but that part is not true. And I don't know. They're going to have their work cut out for them, certainly, to create an experience that delivers. He highlighted, Clark Hunt did, the tailgating part. That I'll be honest, out of everything, I have no idea ultimately what it's going to look like. I have no idea truly what the experience is going to be. Now, it's a $3 billion stadium. Okay, it's going to be state-of-the-art. It's probably going to be incredible. The only experience part that I actually truly do believe that they will knock out of the park without even seeing, I don't need the parking lot plan. I do think the tailgating experience will be just as good or better. That, like, out of everything I've heard, I actually definitively believe that. Everything else, they're going to have to prove it. I truly don't think they're screwing up the parking lot from the tailgating experience. Like, that is clearly something that they are for and going to maintain. Everything else, we can be skeptical all we want. I do think the parking lot with the tailgating, that is something that they will knock out of the park.
That's what I was going to ask you is, like, so obviously you grew up here, obviously lived here way longer than I have, as has pretty much everybody on the text line as well. I've only been here like 2 years. When you hear Clark with Bob and with Mitch as well say there are two things that, and even Mark Donovan talked about it as well, is the questionnaire that they had or whatever, the survey that they sent out. Fans, the top two things were parking for tailgating and noise in the state. They want it to be loud. I think hearing the way that Clark has talked about repetitively, we're going to make sure the parking lot is potentially even expanded beyond what it was, I think should encourage people, as well as the stadium thing. I thought it was interesting. I think it was it Mark Donovan who said it? When they were asked about what they can make out of the stadium, I think Mark Donovan had basically kind of referred to there's different ways that you can design the stadium to make it absorb the sound better, to make it sound loud and louder than other stadiums as well, even though they're indoors as well.
Yeah, he was asked about that. We'll get into the PSLs, the personal seat licenses, coming up in the 1 o'clock hour, and that's when, again, we'll open up the phone lines. We're a little more open in the 1 o'clock hour. We just have had a lot of guests and media availability. You heard from Andy Reid, so we've just been very tight. But in the 1 o'clock hour, we're wide open. So, and if you want to call in, 1 o'clock from that entire hour on, we will be taking phone calls, I promise. 1 o'clock hour, 913-586-7965. Because I do want to talk about the PSLs, because Mark Donovan was asked about those, and they did not commit one way or the other. But I think if we're all being honest, this thing's going to have PSLs. Come on. Every new stadium has personal seat licenses. Now, the price range, I have no idea, right? That would be a complete guess. We could go look up what Buffalo's doing. You can get an idea where per seat you're paying X amount of money, and you can pay it over, I think, a decade or more or whatever. But just to have the right to buy the tickets, that is probably, I would be almost shocked. I'd almost be shocked if they did not have them in this new stadium. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. We're also 10 minutes away from Danon Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver, joining us. He'll be on the broadcast with Mitch Holthus and Josh Klingler for Christmas night as the Chiefs take on the Denver Broncos. But, Drew, let's get to it. It's time for a little All 32. Pivot away from the stadium for just like 5 minutes, and we'll get right back into it. All 32 is brought to you by the Sheet Metal Workers, local number 2. I think they're going to be pretty busy. Nominate your school for a $20,000 enrichment grant today at 965thefan.com. All right. Last night, Monday Night Football, Colts, 49ers. 49ers ended up winning comfortably. And it wasn't because Phillip Rivers was bad. No, their defense couldn't stop Brock Purdy, who had, 5 touchdown passes? Yeah. Here's my only thing, and I love the Phillip Rivers story. I had a comeback player of the year bet in on him, because why not? It was a free bet. That went down in shambles in flames last night. Not because of his performance, but because they're not going to make the playoffs. What's the point of playing Phillip Rivers now the final 2 weeks? Mathematically, they're still alive, but they have to win out, and they need, I think, the Texans to lose out. What you brought back Rivers to help you. Why not play Riley Leonard at this point and get the guy some experience?
Richardson good enough to go? Because I think at least
practice window is open, but I don't know if he's cleared. He just started throwing the football again, I guess.
Okay.
But why, honestly, why play Phillip Rivers the final 2 weeks?
Hey, Phillip came in and got the health insurance check. He's good to go. I don't see the point. I don't know. If you're Phillip Rivers, I guess you want to play just because you took the time to go there. But even if you're Phillip Rivers, why I came to try to lead this team to a playoff berth. I don't. And I guess that's still possible, so I'm sure he'll still play on Sunday. But let's say Houston wins.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the Colts do. That last, do they cut Phillip after that and they just play Riley in the last week when it doesn't matter?
What would be the point of playing Phillip Rivers the last 2 weeks? The
only hope is that they win and then the Texans lose and then they play each other in the last week of the season and the winner goes.
Someone said Riley played last night. Phillip Rivers started the game, guys.
Phillip Rivers played.
Phillip Rivers, I can promise you, Phillip Rivers started the football game last night. Phillip Rivers last night threw for 277 yards and 2 touchdowns. He definitely was Phillip Rivers playing football last night.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand the argument not to, because what's the point? At least see what you got in Riley Leonard. My All 32 is DK Metcalf.
Oh, boy.
What are you doing? What are you doing? costing himself $45 million. Because if the suspension still stands, he was suspended for 2 games, by the way. If it stands,
And explain once again why was he suspended?
So
Did he grab a fan, slap
he
a
grabbed
fan, or
a
what?
fan. It looked like he threw a punch at the fan. For all we know, they said something more, but the fan claims all they said was his government name, which is not DK. If the suspension is upheld, it would void $45 million in future guaranteed money, according to his contract. It is interesting, though. I know everybody was giving the Bengals a hard time about all the void crap with Shamar Stewart. Other teams have this stuff, and we just don't know about it. Like, we had no clue until this came up that $45 million DK could have just thrown down the drain because he got mad at a fan. Conduct detrimental to the league, not just the team.
So the NFL, any interaction with fan that's negative is obviously a terrible thing for them.
Yeah, totally.
But do you think he should have got 2 games, though? Like, I know they're trying to send a message. I get it. But deep down, I actually think 2 games is ridiculous.
I thought it was crazy.
Like,
yes. I would have done one.
Here's the thing. Fans that go to a game, yes, you paid money for the seat. It does not give you the right to... Now, the fan denies any accusation that he said anything derogatory other than his real name.
It still doesn't matter.
But you do not get the right to do whatever the hell you want just because you bought a ticket. This goes back to many, many years ago. I think in like 2000 and who was it? Was it 2009? Fans said something, but then was it Big Ben that flipped off a fan or something like that? Yeah, the
Lamar
NFL
shoved the fan in Buffalo, didn't he?
The NFL doesn't want, because you have the NBA Malice in the Palace thing, so they don't want that. However, as a fan, you don't get to do whatever the hell you want and not think there are consequences either. It goes both ways. I actually don't think DK Metcalf should have got 2 games. I know why the league did it. The voided money part is fascinating. Man, if I were the Dolphins, I'd be planning some fan in the stands and hope they get in a fight with Tua, void his contract too.
Do we know why Lamar wasn't? Because Lamar just shoved the fan, right? Because I will say, I don't know if it's the DK throws a fit thing, if it's the wide receiver. I don't know what it is exactly. But Lamar did something that wasn't quite to the degree of what DK did. But it's not like Lamar didn't do anything after somebody touched DeAndre Hopkins' helmet or whatever it was. And Lamar didn't get anything other than a fine. I thought 2 games was also a bit stiff of a penalty. I thought he should have just gotten 1.
A suspension, fine. 2 games, seemed a bit much. That's all 32. Here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Drew Nixon with you. Up next, we'll talk a little football. We'll also talk about Arrowhead with Damian Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver. He'll be on the broadcast Thursday night for Christmas night against the Broncos, plus a random question of the day that relates to the Truman Sports Complex.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
'Tis the season to be boosting on FanDuel, because this year you're getting 7 straight days of holiday rewards, each one waiting in the app for you to unwrap. Every day brings a new way to play, so keep checking in to see what drops next. And it all leads to the Christmas Day special, where you can get something extra special. 7 days of gifts, 1 big finale. Your holiday football just got a whole lot brighter. Head to FanDuel.com/Alex to get in on the holiday spirit. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook's the official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here, too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Men, we hear it all the time. A man comes in to get his erectile dysfunction treated, and very soon thereafter, he tells us that his relationship is renewed. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and you should know that ED doesn't just affect you, it also often affects your partner. They can feel undesired, unwanted. They may even feel like you don't love them anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we've successfully treated thousands of men for ED with protocols that have success rates as high as 90%. Which means if you're like most men, we can get you back to the guy you used to be. You could even last up to an hour or more and find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and give your partner the gift of renewed love. Your first visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in our office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Every big play starts with a first down, and every financial future starts with the right partner. Main Street Credit Union is not-for-profit and member-owned, which means we invest in you with guidance that's clear, tools that make sense, and people who actually listen. We're here to help you move the chains. Whatever your next move is, auto loan, savings goal, or paying off debt, let's make it one play at a time. Visit mainstreetcu.org to get started.
If ringing in the holidays includes cheers and libations, Gomer's has your back. Voted #1 Casey Liquor Shop, they offer a wide variety of beer, wine, and spirits at great prices. Stop by one of their 5 locations. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew dressing up for a Halloween ball would change my life forever? Now I get to celebrate with the best fans and everything Kansas City. Oh, yeah! My journey also led me to Renner Garage Door, Casey's go-to team for garage door repair, replacement, and service since 1956. Renner features an MVP lineup from Delden, Amar, and Liftmaster.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a lot more.
And I completely agree. That's why I'll pay more for your car at GiveMeTheVin.com. That's the name of our new campaign. I'm worth more. You are worth more, and your car's worth more, and that's why I will pay more. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100 at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit BigBlue.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-529-2856. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-529-2856. 888-999-2856 or biglou.com.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Andy's Frozen Custard. Visit eatandys.com to find the location nearest you. Top your day with a smile.
Let me tell you about my good friend Andy from Andy's Frozen Custard. He's from Kansas City, never misses a game, and serves the world's finest frozen custard. Tailgate with a pick six, or grab a freshly made custom treat before or after a game. And tell him Mitch and Andy sent you.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
We'll get to the random question of the day coming up in 12 minutes. Also, a reminder, in the 1 o'clock hour, we'll open up the phone lines. Get your guys' perspective now. Almost 24 hours since the news becoming official that the Chiefs are headed across the state line to Kansas. I know a lot of you want to give your opinion, right, and get some stuff off your chest. People are fired up on both sides of the state line, of course, about the news. So I'll give you guys a chance in the 1 o'clock hour. We've just been jam-packed so far today, but things will open up at 1 o'clock. We'll also, if you missed it, our conversation with Brandon Woodard, Kansas House Minority Leader. He joined us earlier to give their perspective on it. He was part of that LCC meeting yesterday that unanimously approved the Star Bond funding to allow this all to move forward. So if you got some more questions, hopefully some more will be answered when we speak with him like we did earlier today on the show. But I do want to talk a little football mixed in with Stadium with Damian Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver. He will be on the broadcast Christmas night. Chiefs, Broncos, right here on 96.5 The Fan. And our conversations with Danon are brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue, and brought to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Danon, you've now called multiple games, to say the least, at Arrowhead. You played at Arrowhead. You've gone to Arrowhead as a fan. Your family's gone to Arrowhead. What do you make of just the news yesterday that they're going to move to Kansas here in 5 years?
Yeah, I think there's a level of it being bittersweet because you have so many memories and so much history. But then there's a lot of excitement. Like, I'm excited about it. And part of the reason why I can be so excited is I just completed on Thanksgiving Day when we went to Dallas. That was the last stadium in the entire NFL that I had not either played in or broadcast from. So I've completed the entire gambit of the entire NFL and all the stadiums, the venues, the booths, the experiences, etc. As you guys know, I hate to give love to the Raiders. That's just born in me, I guess.
Right.
But they got the best stadium in the league. Reliance Stadium is the best venue in the league. And when you watch what's happening around the NFL, and I'm sure part of the reason for some of the vitriol with Chiefs fans is because they may not be privy to some of those other stadiums. They may not notice what we have and don't have. And then there's allegiance to what has been historical. So I get it. But for me personally, like, I've seen what's on the other side of the fence. I've seen what's around the corner. And you can only be happy and you can only be, excited about it. And that's kind of how I feel.
We know at least it's going to be a dome. What we don't know if it's retractable roof or not. As you mentioned, you've been to some of these newer stadiums that are all domes, and most of them are not retractable. What do you make of just that element to the atmosphere and what that does to a stadium?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I played when you had the Houston Astrodome, the Metrodome. All the domes were just coming in to play. We're in play. There was, 4 of them in the league at that time. with Seattle being in the AFC West, so we went there once a year. So, like, I get it. It's different, but different isn't always bad. I guess I'm old enough to know and have experience throughout my life, different twists and turns, ups and downs, highs and lows, that I just am not of that mindset that just because something's different, it's going to be worse. It could be better, and you don't know until you know. So, yeah, Dome is going to be a different vibe, but part of me is also excited about, like, if we can get to 142.2 decibels at Arrowhead Stadium, imagine what we can turn a Dome into. Imagine how much of a headache it'll be for the Josh Allens if he's still playing, and all these young quarterbacks that are the Bo Nixes who will be facing on Christmas night. Like, I guess I don't know if I'm wired differently or not, but that's kind of where my mind goes. It's like, man, when this event space, when this entire complex is set, how enjoyable will it be? How much of a great experience? It won't be the same for some generations, but I guarantee you that outside of me polluting my grandson Daxton, who's sitting with me now, be polluting his head about what Arrowhead is, I guarantee you that his generation is going to feel really cool about what's over in Kansas. They're going to really love the whole atmosphere, and I think that would be a disservice that I think our generation will be doing to the next generation by combating and spitting on or whatever the concept of moving to Kansas.
You mentioned you were just in Dallas a couple weeks back and experienced that. Now, I don't know, maybe you didn't make your way to Frisco where they have the Star and their headquarters and their training facility, but I know you're at least aware of it. And that's seemingly kind of what people are comping, maybe this new headquarters and training facility in Olathe. What that part of it, what do you think that could be for the Chiefs, knowing what the Star is in Dallas?
So I didn't get a chance to go to the Star in Dallas, but in going to the stadium and seeing Texas Live right around that facility and all the different venues and restaurants and hotels, I can tell you that is awesome. Like, to be able to imagine traveling to a game, or I heard Mitch's interview where he talked about people were at his show last night from D.C., and there are people that come from out of the country, and you can come and stay right on the footprint of the stadium and have all access to all the entertainment that you want prior to the game, maybe staying a day after the game, etc. But as for the Star, I think it's cool for Olathe. I think it's cool for the area. I mean, youth sports is growing, flag football, regular football, girls football, all of that is expanding. So to me, having that access in one place would be huge.
We're talking to former Chiefs wide receiver Danon Hughes here on 96.5 The Fan. He will be broadcasting with Mitch Holthus and Josh Klingler. Chiefs-Broncos Christmas night. All right, let's get to football a little bit here. What happened in Nashville is something that we haven't seen in a very long time. We've been spoiled for really a decade. I mean, I forgot how bad it can look when your team just doesn't have it that day, when your team has all these injuries. I imagine that brought back some pre-Andy Reid memories for you as well.
Yeah, it was tough. It was strange because I've been in the booth. This is 6 seasons in the booth with Josh Klingler and obviously the GOAT, Mitch Holthus. And I asked some of the radio crew a couple of weeks ago, I was like, hey, this is unfamiliar territory. We know. How did you guys do it when we were 4-12 and 2-14 and all that? And so we had to have that conversation because I needed to get my mind right and wrapped around, okay, when you have disappointment and you're not having a season like we've had like the past 7, like how do you function from a radio standpoint? How do you function on air and so on? So it was helpful for me. It was an opportunity for me to kind of be coached up, so to speak. But it is definitely different when you look out on the field and some of the things that you see. Like I saw amazing efforts. I've said this for a couple of weeks now since we've been kind of eliminated or semi-eliminated from playoffs. Like from my vantage point, what I'm watching is effort. Who's quitting? Who is not giving 100% on this field? And who are the people that are giving 100% that we can look to be linchpins for 2026 and beyond? Because I think that's where the evaluation, or at least a large part of the evaluation, comes in. Trey Smith, Nick Bolton, Creed Humphrey, guys that were giving it their all on the field when they really have nothing to gain. They've been at the mountaintop, and now they're just trying to grind through the final few games of the season, and they're out there pancaking guys and moving guys against their will. So that was encouraging. So I guess I have to play mind games with myself in regards to how am I going to enjoy these games, suffering through some of the rough play, and that's kind of where my mind goes. I'm watching for guys' effort. Like I saw glimpses from Chris Jones. I saw Travis Kelce giving it his all, running great routes. Just the quarterbacks couldn't find them. There were multiple guys that were just doing their job to the best of their ability, and that's kind of what you want to see.
The part that I can't get over from Sunday that's really frustrating, and maybe it'll change in the final two, is I truly don't get the argument for why Brashard Smith doesn't get more carries at this point of the season. It's one thing when I was asking for it in week 6, I get the argument on the other side. I don't get it with now 2 games to go why Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt are getting as many carries as they're getting. Jalen Royals getting 3 snaps when you're down Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton. Am I missing something?
Well, I would ask you to spin it this way. What would be enough?
For Rashard Smith, give the guy 8 carries, 7 carries.
Okay, so you're saying that 8 would be satisfactory where it would not be a topic.
I would say, yeah, I mean, it'd be a topic because we would say, well, how did he do with 8, right? It'd be a topic on, hey, what did he look like in 8? But I wouldn't come on the show and say, man, they didn't give Brashard Smith an opportunity to show what he has.
So, and the reason I wasn't trying to throw a curveball at you or anything like that.
No, you're good.
Because I feel like there's a sliding scale and a different concept in regards to what is enough. And like, you don't have the luxury of having a massive roster that you have on game day. There are guys out there that you want to show, and I don't know this to be true, but I'm just adding perspective or different perspectives. Maybe you have some trade capital for guys. Maybe you don't want guys to get hurt at this juncture of the season by carrying a workload that they haven't been used to. Maybe there are guys out there that you know from a morale standpoint, you want to make sure you give them an opportunity to get any incentives, to put some numbers up so that they become more marketable or have opportunities, whether it's here or elsewhere down the road. I just feel like there's more meat on the bone. Again, none of that is confirmed. I've played on teams back in the 90s where guys like literally needed 2 catches in the last game of the season or 50 yards rushing, and we'd be talking about it in the locker room, and we'd be talking about it in the huddle. And there were guys sometimes that would say, hey, Elvis, make sure you throw me a couple of passes because we weren't in the playoffs, or maybe we locked up a playoff spot, and now you're looking out for some of those incentives that you've been working hard to get to. So I think that it's multi-layered. I guess that's a long-winded answer to say, what's enough for Brashard Smith? What's enough for Jalen Royals? I'd like to see more of those guys, but then what would be enough to satisfy me? And then at the same time, how bad would I feel if we said, you know what, behind this patchwork line, in these circumstances, especially now on Christmas night, going against a top defense in the NFL, we're going to throw you out there to the Wolves. And, how would we feel if that guy got hurt and then he wasn't viable for the offseason and couldn't be somebody we can count on for 2026? So I think there's a balancing act that we got to be aware of.
We're talking to Dana Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver here on 96.5 The Fan. What about the Denver Broncos? We saw them earlier in the season. The Chiefs have a chance to play spoiler here and maybe hurt their number 1 seed chances. But I heard Andy talk about the injury front earlier, Dana, and it's not great yet again. And not only is McDuffie dealing with that knee still, probably unlikely to play. Now you got Jalen Watson dealing with what Andy said is a groin injury. and we know Cortland Sutton's a problem anyway. So how do you handle that going into this one in a couple nights?
You know what? On a normal week, let's say this past week we played the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. You know what happened on Monday? Everybody got paid. Everybody's got a job. They got their pay. They're automatic deposit into their account. They'll get another one after this game on Christmas night. And to me, being a professional, part of it is you don't have optimum circumstances all the time. And the coaches get paid. Everybody in that building gets a paycheck on Monday or maybe Friday this week. And you have to dial it in and be a professional. Now, I will say on the flip side, being one of those guys that was a number 5, number 6 receiver, on a 47-man roster back then, probably number 44, 43 most weeks, I salivated at the opportunity. Like, if there was insignificant games where I was going to be able to play, 20 more snaps, let's go. Let's get it. It's going to be a party because I need to showcase that I deserve more and that you guys have been missing out on my abilities. I hope that these young players are thinking that way. I hope they're not thinking season's over. I don't want to get hurt. I just want to make it through and live for 2026 because that would be the wrong thing to put on film. That would be the wrong mindset to have. And most times, injuries happen when you don't go 100%. Most people, when they go 100%, trying to run through a brick wall, usually they don't get hurt. It's the ones that are standing around the pile, that are trying not to get hurt, that are trying to sidestep contact. Those are the ones that get hurt. So if I know this organization and I know this coaching staff, they are drilling into these guys about the opportunity and seizing the opportunity. And that's where I think you got to be. And whether you're outmatched, there's nothing you can do. Control what you can control. Go out there and perform, and then hope for the best. And we've seen some bad teams beat really good teams at times. And if the stars align on Christmas night, that could be the case.
Danon Hughes, former Chiefs wide receiver. Appreciate it, man. We'll be listening to the broadcast there Christmas night. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, brother.
There you go. Danon Hughes with us here on 96.5 The Fan as the Chiefs get set to take on the Broncos on Christmas night. We'll get to the random question of the day. We'll probably carry this question over into the 1 o'clock hour a little bit. As I said, in the 1 o'clock hour, we'll open up the phone lines, 913-586-7965. Anything stadium-wise you want to talk to, we'll give you time to speak, voice your opinion, and we'll open those up here in just a bit. But let's get to a quick random question of the day.
Random question.
Random question of the day brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. The reason why I think this one will carry over maybe to callers in the 1 o'clock hour as well is that I think other than the stadium moving to Kansas, the next part of this is, yes, the Royals and what happens with them. But the third, I guess, would be what happens at the Truman Sports Complex? So that's the random question of the day. What do you think happens? What do you want to see happen? How about that? Either one, 913-586-7965. You can text in. We'll take calls on this as well in the 1 o'clock hour. But what do you think happens there? Because Arrowhead, Chiefs leaving after the 2030 season. They'll be opening up their new stadium now, we all know, in Kansas in 2031. We know the Royals have come out for years now and said they're not staying at the K. So therefore, there's going to be an empty Truman Sports Complex. What do you do there? Now, Carrington's going to have Jackson County Executive Phil Lavoda on his show later on today, and I'm sure he's going to ask him about this, and I'll be curious to get his answer on it. And it's probably something that's very difficult to predict, so it's more just a suggestion than anything at this point in time. But can you, if you're KC-Mo, if you're Jackson County, can you salvage the Truman Sports Complex site if, and frankly when, I guess at this point, when the Chiefs and Royals leave? And to further this, I saw there was at least one Missouri state senator that proposed something for this, or will propose something for this upcoming legislative session in Missouri, which is to assess teams that leave publicly financed stadiums a 1% demolition tax for every year they use the facility. So I don't know the likelihood of that passing. Some of you might think it's a great idea. Some of you might think that's crazy. Doesn't really matter. You can voice your opinion on it. I think I don't actually have much of an issue necessarily with that. If that was already, I think that needs to be established before now. Like, so to me, going forward, if you want to establish that, sure. I don't think that could be added retroactive. I don't know how that works legally, by the way, but I don't hate the suggestion that in the future, if a team leaves a publicly financed stadium and it's at the time that the contract was signed, that it also includes, hey, if you ever left, you got to front some of the bill for demolition. I don't think that's a terrible idea at all. It's a publicly financed project. I actually don't hate that suggestion. I don't know if you can add that on now after the fact. That would be my only issue. But what do you guys think should and would happen to that spot? Because I think, Drew, you and I were talking before the show. I think one possible option, is it just becomes like a distribution hub. No, what logistic hub? Whether it's, I'm just throwing out names. Whether we're talking it's like a UPS distribution hub, Amazon, whatever. That's a huge chunk of land. Now, also, is it? It's in the city center. It's a huge chunk of land. Is that viewed as desirable for somebody else? We all know that area just hasn't developed, though, even around the stadium. So is somebody willing to develop something? People are bringing up housing and all that. Is that something that's viable? I don't know. I'm not saying I know the answer. I'm just asking people, what do you think could end up going out there?
I think the fact that there hasn't been much development around the area makes me think, at least, that it turns into that to the distribution center or the area where big facility, shipping facility, whatever the case is. It makes sense, I guess, because there hasn't been any development around there.
My guess, complete guess, would be eventually both stadiums are torn down.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it becomes either a distribution center area or a huge hub of, frankly, where things are trending in a lot of areas, which is these data centers, with now more than ever, whether it's through AI or whatever, where now data centers are needed more than ever. That would be my guess.
Now, maybe they have flea market.
I think hopefully they're joking. That would be really depressing if that's what that turned out to be. That would be really.
That text has come in multiple times from different people.
That would be really, really depressing if that's what it. Someone said, "How many acres is the property?" That's a great question. We could probably find out real quick. I do not know off the top of my head.
Let's put a mattress firm there. You can put a lot of mattress firms there.
Quick Google search. Don't hold me to it. Quick Google search says it's anywhere from up to 370 acres. 220 for the main site plus adjacent. So there you go.
Well, 220. Point if you turn it into a water park.
But what?
I don't know. That's what somebody from the 816 says. Turn it into a water park.
Yeah. I mean, look, worst case scenario is it just sits vacant and it grows weeds and it's just a waste of space. That's why I said I don't know if it's a distribution hub or a data center. We got a couple people on hold. Coming up next, we'll open up the phone lines, 913-586-7965. If you want to talk about the future of the sports complex, if you want to talk about the Chiefs moving to Kansas, whether you're for it, whether you're against it, we'll open up the phone lines coming up next here on 96.5 The Fan.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sports fans in Missouri can sign up for BetMGM using bonus code DUSTY and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet does not win. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day. Get into hockey, basketball, and pro football with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sign up today using bonus code DUSTY to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer subject to eligibility requirements. Minimum deposit of $10 to participate. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
Hey, Chiefs fans, Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Kansas City Chiefs. And this season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/royal rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Every now and then I rinse it out, and I need Downy rinse tonight, and I need it more. I can't rest the bed and the smell never leaves. I don't know what to do, I'm always in the dark. The sweat and dead short smells like a dog park. Downy rinse it tonight.
Downy Rinse fights stubborn odors in just one wash. When impossible odors get stuck in,
Rinse it out.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. If you have breast, head and neck, or brain cancer, proton therapy may be a better treatment than conventional radiation. Don't wait. Get your second opinion at Kansas City Proton Institute. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced proton therapy team. Learn more at kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Hi, we're the people who have everything.
There's nothing you can get us we don't have.
We have 7 mini vacuums.
And Pearl-handled pickleball rackets.
See?
Need a gift for someone who has everything? The Kansas Lottery has you covered with holiday scratch tickets in $1, $2, $5, $10, and $20 options, with instant wins up to $100,000. You could win even more in second chance drawings.
Did he say thousands?
We could always use that.
See kslottery.com for details.
The holidays are here, and so's the newest Academy Sports and Outdoors, right in your neighborhood. Score kids ride-ons that say, my 8-year-old's truck is nicer than mine. Grills and smokers that say, there is no wrong way to cook a turkey. And new Nike fleece hoodies that say, I keep it chill no matter the temp. Academy has all the legendary Christmas gifts your family wants at undefeatable prices, because here, fun can't lose. Win Christmas at your new Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Home remodeling shouldn't be stressful. Hey, it's Bob Fesco, and West Shore Home is proving it doesn't have to be. With real-time scheduling and precision scan-to-plan accuracy, they make your remodel fast, easy, and convenient. That's why hundreds of thousands of homeowners have trusted West Shore Home to transform their bathroom, windows, and doors. Plus, right now, when you buy a full bath remodel, you'll get a second shower for free and lock in an extra $500 off just for listening to the show. But you need to schedule now at westshorehome.com/fan.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Are you in need of top quality metal for your next project? Look no further than Metal by the Foot. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. The Foot. Blue Demon Welding Supplies, filler rods, and wire. The Foot. Cronius Professional Welding Equipment, service and repairs. The Foot. Located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit biglou.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-529-2856. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-529-2856 or biglou.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Hey, it's George Karloftis. The Chiefs Radio Network pregame show starts 3 hours before kickoff right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, 1 o'clock hour on a Tuesday. Cody and Gold, Alex Gold with you. Cody is out today. Drew Nixon producing the show. Coming up around 1:35, 1:40 or so earlier today, I spoke with the minority leader of the Kansas House, Brandon Woodard, get his perspective on the stadium moving to the state of Kansas. He was on the committee, the council, I guess I should say, that approved the vote yesterday to move forward with the stadium plans, the Star Bond District proposal, all that. So I spoke with him earlier today. You'll hear that conversation. But I promised you guys it's been a jam-packed show. We've had a lot planned, but the 1 o'clock hour, a little more open. So we'll open up the phone lines. Some of you already on hold. Appreciate it. We're going to get right to you. 913-586-7965. 913-586-7965. Anything stadium that you guys want to voice your opinion about, we can talk it out, whether it's the random question of the day that we just had about the Truman Sports Complex, whether it's about the Royals, the Chiefs, you name it. Let's see. We got Brad in Olathe. He's been on hold for a bit. Brad, thanks for calling in.
Hey, guys. I'm a master's level educated professional in social services, and I want to address the grieving process for Arrowhead. I want to tell everyone on both sides, a new experience does not cheapen old memories. A new Arrowhead does not mean that your memories of old Arrowhead are any less valuable or special. New doesn't need to mean better or worse. If in life you compare, you will ultimately despair. This will be a new experience full of new memories that will become just as cherished and just as special. It does not or is even trying to replace your old cherished memories. Just because you loved old Arrowhead does not mean you can't love new Arrowhead too. Your old memories will be just as valuable as your new memories. Change is inevitable, but that doesn't mean or less or even cheapen your old memories in any way. I give all my love to the kingdom. This is Brad from Olathe. I'll take your comments off the air.
There you go. Thank you, Brad. Brad from Olathe. What a level-headed, level-headed call to start us off with.
Very thought-provoking answer.
I'm not saying everybody will agree. I actually think he's correct. I think it's tough for people to get there, though, today. 24 hours, less than 24 hours since the announcement. I think he is absolutely correct, though, as time moves on, fast forward 15 years from now, nobody's taking away your memories from Arrowhead. And the first time that Patrick Mahomes has a game-winning touchdown drive at new Arrowhead, whatever we're calling it, will be a memory. If you were at a new 13-second game at new Arrowhead, will be a moment for somebody potentially as well. 913-586-7965. All right, Joe is in Blue Springs. You've been on hold for a bit. Joe, thanks for calling in.
Hey, man, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate you guys. Love listening to your show.
Thanks.
Really just a couple things. I want to, I've been a season ticket holder for 15 years now, and where the kingdom goes, I get to go, and I at least I love the sentiment that we're not moving, to California or Utah or anywhere else that they've mentioned. And that I still have our kingdom right here. It's just a 20-minute drive that's a little bit farther than I used to go. But Still get to make those memories like that previous caller said. That's going to be great to experience with my grandkids. The people that are crying about it, honestly, if you live in Jackson County and you voted no, you're the reason. You're the reason. We had an opportunity to keep it in Jackson County. Our leadership failed. Kansas leadership stepped up. We can't fault them for that. Can't wait to see what it's going to look like, though. Super excited about it. I mean, obviously sad. Obviously have a lot of memories at the old Arrowhead, but we got 5 more years to cherish it and make those memories before we go out there. Also, I think a great idea what they could do at the Truman Sports Complex is everybody knows youth sports right now is a big, it's huge. It's exploding all across the country. Turn that into a youth football or a youth sports complex that has every sport that we can play in the Kansas City metro area and make it a centralized hub and keep our sports there. So just appreciate the call and look forward to listening to you guys in the future.
Hey, thanks for the call, Joe. Joe in Blue Springs. As far as the Truman Sports Complex idea, obviously without knowing any of the financial elements of it, I mean, that would obviously seem like a very, very interesting idea and useful idea for the Truman Sports Complex. I don't know how viable that would be, but we see, I know in other parts of town, these home field, on the Kansas side, I can speak of the Blue Hawk setup that they have out there. There's plenty of facilities like that popping up. Could that be an opportunity over on the Truman Sports Complex side? Again, Phil Lavoda is going to join CDOT later on this afternoon. He's the Jackson County executive, and I know CDOT's going to ask him, what do they think they could do with the Truman Sports Complex site? Now that we know the Chiefs are moving after the 2030 season, and we know the Royals have already said they're not playing out at Kauffman. 913-586-7965. Taking your phone calls, anything stadium-related, anything on your mind about the Chiefs, about the Royals, about the Truman Sports Complex. As we said, we would open it up, and so here we are. We've got Batman from Wyandotte. You join us here on Cody and Gold.
And you got that right. You know what? Brad and Joe, they reflect exactly what your station, led by Spec, what your station has done for the kingdom. It's made a state of the art as far as being part of the sports in the world. And you guys are the best, and especially, Cody, you're the youth of an entity that it's growing every day. And it is a combination of the young and the old, just like this question on the complex. If they would have done this a few years ago, you can't be blaming Frank White. He'll hit you with one of those 8 gold gloves. You know what I'm saying? The man's a legend. And not in politics, he'll get that straight if you give him a chance. The man's one of my favorite people on the planet. But anyway, you guys give us a taste of everything from gambling to the final score of the game. And you're necessary for people to understand what they're talking about before they talk. I think you're a reflection of how good it is for somebody to listen to somebody that knows what they're talking about. That's your job, bro. You're on it. You're going it when you're on it at home.
I appreciate it, Batman. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the kind words. 913-586-7965. Seriously, appreciate the kind words about the station. All right, we've got, let's see who's been on hold longer. Kyle in OP. Kyle, you're on Cody and Gold.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen.
We're doing good, man.
Good. Hey, so my dad's actually been a season ticket holder since they were in Municipal Stadium and still goes to every single game. He's sat in the same seats at Arrowhead since it opened. I guess they haven't really said anything about this. Is it the PSL?
So they have not officially confirmed one way or the other. Now, as we were talking about earlier, I would be shocked. I really would, Kyle, if there's not PSLs. Any of these new stadiums, Tennessee's new stadium, Buffalo's new stadium, they all have them. But as far as the official word, no. Mark Donovan yesterday did not confirm whether they're going to have them or not.
Yeah, I just was curious about that. I mean, since somebody's had season tickets for 60-plus seasons, would they do anything for him on that? So, just kind of curious.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Kyle. Kyle in OP, 913-586-7965. Yeah, the PSL thing, I'll play you this and we'll get back to calls. Mark Donovan was asked yesterday about personal seat licenses. I think a lot of you are probably aware of it, but just in case people aren't, those are basically a one-time fee per seat to have the right to have that seat. Now, it gets you access to other events that happen at said stadium, but you are on top of, and I have no idea what the dollar amount would be. So let's say they had PSLs. Let's say, I'm just throwing out a random number, and I don't think it's actually that crazy as far as what they might end up doing. Let's say it's $10,000 to have the right to buy that seat. That can be paid out over X amount of years. You're also still paying your annual season ticket holder fee. Now, if you are already somebody that goes to Arrowhead and you've signed up for season tickets recently, you guys know they've already had somewhat of, I don't think they call them PSLs, they are PSLs, like an initiation type of fee that people have been asked to pay here in recent history as a new season ticket holder. But this was Mark Donovan yesterday when he was asked about that.
We haven't made that final decision. As I mentioned, we were late in the process as to which way we would go. So we'll consider that. Every new stadium that we know of has PSLs. We did do polling about PSLs.
I'm guessing that came up, people don't want to pay PSLs.
Actually,
right?
it would surprise you. Just a general understanding of PSLs and what they are and why they're the way they are. And we'll get into it later, but there's a lot of value in owning a PSL in the sports world. There's a reason why these PSLs sell in all of these stadiums. So if you look at the newest stadiums that are out there, if you look at Buffalo, if you look at Tennessee, you look at teams like that, I mean, they've sold very, very well because there's true value in a PSL.
That last part we can debate. I don't think people are rushing out to their bank account to pay for a personal seat license. I think that is a rosy picture to paint there about the personal seat licenses. But I would imagine that is likely where this thing is trending. 913-586-7965. All right, Cody, you've been on hold. Cody in Independence, you're on with Cody and Gold.
Yeah, so I may be an uneducated feller here, but for a family that's worth $24 billion, to put it, basically the highest bidder who can come up with most tax dollars from the working man, why can't the Hunt family pay for a new stadium? Why does it got to fall on the highest taxpayer bidder?
So I appreciate the call. I don't disagree. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I think for the most part, universally, most people agree with you, Mark. The concept of public finance projects, that we've allowed that to exist, and region by region, somebody's willing to publicly financing it is why it's a problem. Because the reality is, and it's not a threat, we've just seen it play out. If a certain region is not willing to publicly finance a stadium, then there is the real chance that a team leaves the area. And even in Denver, people keep citing Denver like there's no public money involved because the Walton family is paying for the stadium. That's not even entirely privately financed. There are still TIF funding involved. There is still infrastructure that the city and the state of Colorado are paying for. The Bills Stadium is getting a ton of money from New York. So in general, I totally agree with you. The concept of, hey, shouldn't they just pay for the stadium? 100% with you. That's just not and I'm not saying you have to be okay with it, but that's just not the reality that we have in this country, unfortunately. It is why, though, I think you're starting to see the public votes become a problem. Now, this did not require a public vote, but it's why I think it's harder than ever to get public finance stadiums approved via public vote. And it's part of the challenge that I think Missouri is having, even if they're trying to keep the Royals as well. If it requires a public vote, I think it's an obstacle. I think it's a potential obstacle. So, yeah, I agree with you. Like, worth $20 billion, worth $5 billion, doesn't matter. Yeah, sure, pay for it. That's just not the setup that we've allowed to have happen. And the only fix to that is if you were to you would need universally every region to just agree that yep, we're done. We're completely done, because there's always some region that sees the benefit and is willing to do it.
Yeah.
And that's just what we've seen play out. That's not like my opinion. That's just what we've all seen play out in multiple cities, with whether it's NFL teams, whether it's Major League Baseball teams. That's just how it's played out. 913-586-7965. Looks like we've got Mad Dog from Topeka. Mad Dog, you're on Cody and Gold.
Hey, thanks. I listen to you guys all the time. First-time caller, though. Obviously, I'm from Topeka. I'm glad. I'm happy the Chiefs are moving. I'm sad for the Missourians. But if you live in Kansas or Missouri, you can make your money back on this. Remember, this isn't tax dollars like you think it is. This is Star Bonds where you can invest your money into and make money off of the Chiefs. The better they do, the more money you're going to make on your investment in a Star Bond. I'll listen off air, and thank you for taking my call.
Hey, thanks, Mad Dog. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's been a lot of talk even earlier today about the Star Bonds, and we're going to play you guys the interview again we had earlier with Kansas House Minority Leader today, Brandon Woodard, because we were asking about the Star Bond District. I think when everybody was talking about the Star Bonds for all the last couple of years, and I know the Star Bond concept is not new. This goes back to the Kansas Speedway as well. But most, I think, maybe I'm wrong, I thought most people thought, oh, it's just the district around the stadium. Like, sure, that'll go towards it. And then you look at the proposed map, and I know it's not finalized. The Kansas Department of Commerce put out the map, and you can find it's all over social media now, or you can go to the Kansas Department of Commerce website, and you see that map, and it is not just a small little area around the Legends. Mm-hmm. It is all of Wyandotte County. It is like half-ish of Johnson County, and it leaves out, Overland Park or Leawood and Prairie Village, I believe. And I asked the representative earlier in the show, one was the area left out because they're planning for the Royal Star Bond District, but $1.8 billion in public money. That's why the Star Bond District is so wide. That's not just a district. It's almost like it's basically like an eastern part of the state tax is basically what it's going to be for new development. All right, one final call here, and then we'll get to a caller from yesterday that I have to play from Carrington's show that I did not hear until this morning. 913-586-7965. All right, Zach in St. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, guys, how you doing? I'll keep it quick for you so you get the break. But two things I had real quick was, one, I can't fault the Hunt family for doing stuff that literally all other NFL ownership groups do. I think people didn't realize that in Kansas City, this is something that happens around the league, and they had kind of blind naiveness towards it. The second thing is, as far as them actually making the move, I think it's going to be a little bit more positive than what people think it is. At the end of the day, we are just going over the bridge, and we're still going to see the same Chiefs, the same system and all that. It's just going to have a different painting on it. So, anywho, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Hey, thanks, Zach. Zach in St. Joe. So the last part, I agree with that. I think, and I was talking with Carrington about this actually after his show yesterday. I think ultimately that last point is absolutely accurate, and you guys know that's my take that, hey, they're moving 20 minutes away, but I get it talking with other people on the Missouri side of the state line last night. It's so fresh right now that people are pissed on the Missouri side of the state line. And so I get that. I do think as time goes on, not everybody, there will be some people that firmly will commit to never going across the state line, and that's your choice to do that. I still don't buy that a huge chunk of people just are going to stop rooting for the team. I think that's 24 hours of anger is what that is, more than fast forward 5 or 6 years from now. But for a lot of people, it's not as simple just as going across the state line. I think it's that simple, but that's not what it is for a lot of people. And I know there's a lot of you listening, it's not that simple, and I understand that. I think there's also a lot of you listening that think it's not a big deal, and that's why. Look, we have a state line, we have this border, and a good chunk of our audience is divided on this decision, and that's why we've been talking about it for the last couple of days, and frankly for years, if we're being honest. All right, yesterday on Carrington's show, there was a call from a gentleman by the name of Mario, and it's an all-timer. Passionate, it had everything. Take a listen.
Carrington, I'm pissed, okay?
No, here we go.
I'm going to tell you something, Carrington. I'm not giving no discounts, and I ain't taking no coupons. Lucas, you are no longer mayor of nothing. You are just Lucas. And as far as I'm concerned, Lucas and White, you on the list. It's the Lucas and White list. Two losers is what you are, okay? You let Missouri down today. You turned Kansas City into a podunk cow town, a.k.a. Omaha Junior, is what Kansas City is now. Now, you put that in your pipe and smoke it. And I got another thing I got to get off my chest, Carrington.
Go ahead, you got it.
Fesco is on here. Fesco is on here. He's so elated. Ain't you from the Lou? Ain't you from Missouri? But I guess this puts a little bit more shine on your side of the state. That now Missouri is officially, Kansas City, Missouri is a cow town. Because you on here talking, Fesco, like you getting your gun off. What are you, a sellout or what? I got a problem with that. And all you people, now what happens in Kansas City, Missouri? You guys, all of you people in the politics should turn in your resignation effective immediately. Lucas, White, don't let me catch you outside after dark, because we will not be held responsible for what will be done to y'all. And the rest of you cronies who were sitting back there and waved goodbye, you probably got a kickback. You probably already got season tickets in the new facility. But let me tell you something. All of y'all should turn in your resignations effective immediately. You shouldn't be allowed to run for dog catcher or any office in this state or any other state for that matter. And Lucas, I'll vote for anybody that ever runs against you because you are a liar. You don't have integrity. And that other guy that you ran that clip on, he's a liar too. They took Frank White. You knew that the game was over, the jig was up, but you come on national TV and television or radio insulting everybody's intelligence. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. That's why I don't like politicians, because you're a bunch of liars. When your lips is moving, it's a high probability that you and I both know that you're lying.
That was Mario yesterday on the drive. Omaha Junior.
That's the best part.
That might be the line of the entire call. That it's Omaha Junior now.
Every single time.
My goodness. Now, there actually, believe it or not, there were a few things in there that I think he's correct on. There's a few. There's a few in terms of multiple people let the state of Missouri down in these negotiations. Although, as I led the show with today, I still think as much as it's very easy to blame, and there's plenty of blame to go around with Frank White, the mayor, and others in the state of Missouri, $1.8 billion in public money. I keep going back to that. And that doesn't mean like you should be thrilled with it. I'm just saying, if you're Clark Hunt, it's the largest public subsidy for a stadium ever. Who's competing with that? 1.8
to this point, obviously nobody.
No, yeah, exactly. Like $1.8 billion in public money. Like, yes, it could have been handled a million times better, and ultimately, I think that's where. But the Chiefs chased the money. The Chiefs made a business decision. That's an overly simplified way to describe what's occurred over the last couple of years. I get it, but that's what it is. That call, though, he went 2.5 minutes without breathing. Like it was a constant just go. Not even a dog catcher is what he said. Shouldn't even be the dog catcher. Man, oh man.
All right, Mario.
Man. 913-586-7965. Up next, let's get to a quick What's Trending. We'll fill you in on some of the injuries that Andy Reid announced. And then earlier today, as I mentioned, we had a representative from the state of Kansas, House Minority Leader Brandon Woodard, join us. You'll hear our conversation that we had with him about the Star Bond District, about the funding. What is this training facility going to bring to the area? That's coming up next.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sports fans in Missouri can sign up for BetMGM using bonus code DUSTY and get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if their first bet does not win. Enjoy a betting app that was designed for game day. Get into hockey, basketball, and pro football with features like live bets, same-game parlays, BetMGM rewards points, and surprise boosts dropping in your account all throughout the season. It's everything a sports fan could want in one app. BetMGM is now available in Missouri. Sign up today using bonus code DUSTY to receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. BetMGM, make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. New customer offer, subject to eligibility requirements, minimum deposit of $10 to participate. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly.
I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Kansas City Chiefs. Choosing the best doctor for your eyes is one of the most important medical decisions you'll ever make. Whether you're considering blade-free LASIK, all laser cataract surgery, and premium lens implants, or want a world-renowned doctor to help with your glaucoma, macular degeneration, dry eyes, or diabetes, trust my doctor, Dr. Steven Silverstein. Call Silverstein Eye Centers to make an appointment, 816-358-3600. Experience the best eye care in Kansas City.
I'm worth more.
I'm worth a little more.
I'm worth a lot more.
I completely agree. You are worth more, and your car's worth more. And we want to pay more at GiveMeTheVin.com for good cars, because they are worth more, and so are you. And remember, if I don't beat the price on a CarMax or a Carvana deal, I'll pay you $100. For top price, trust, and ease of transaction, GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Looking to drive your finances downfield? Main Street Credit Union is the hometown team you can trust. We help you build credit, lower monthly expenses, and finance with confidence. Or if you need a loan to grow your small business, we've got flexible options and no hidden fees. At Main Street, it's not just about the win, it's about keeping Kansas City moving forward. One goal, 1 yard, one member at a time. Get in the game at mainstreetcu.org.
Hellsberg gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
'Tis the season to be boosting on FanDuel, because this year you're getting 7 straight days of holiday rewards, each one waiting in the app for you to unwrap. Every day brings a new way to play, so keep checking in to see what dropped next. And it all leads to the Christmas Day special, where you get something extra special. 7 days of gifts, one big finale. Your holiday football just got a whole lot brighter. So head over to FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ, and get into the holiday spirit. Every day brings a new way to play, so keep checking in to see what dropped next. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amounts. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Casino LLC. Gambling problem? Get out with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew dressing up for a Halloween ball would change my life forever? Now I get to celebrate with the best fans and everything Kansas City. Oh, yeah! My journey also led me to Renner Garage Door, Casey's go-to team for garage door repair, replacement, and service since 1956. Renner features an MVP lineup from Deldon, Amar, and Liftmaster.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of some incredibly rare bourbons, whiskey, and tequilas. Plus, check out our barrel selections that are handcrafted by our team and bottled just for you. Supply is limited. Cheers!
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
At Straight Talk, we know the holidays are your time to say
yes.
So why put up with a wireless company that makes you say
out of data?
Or
no service here?
Switch to Straight Talk and say yes to real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network covered by Verizon. And with a free 5G phone when you activate select plans, someone else in your family can say yes! Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Based on RootMetrics State of 5G Report, United States 1H 2025. Experiences may vary. Not an endorsement of Verizon. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit biglou.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-529-2856. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 to 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-529-2856. That's 800-529-2856 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. 800-529-2856.
Chiefs coverage this past hour has been brought to you by WaysideWaves.org. Save a life this holiday season.
Wayside rescues thousands of animals each year. Your gift today provides a complete circle of life-saving care they need to heal and find loving homes. Donate today, and your gift will be matched. Visit WaysideWaves.org to make your life-saving gift today.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit tellytire.com today.
Number 1 on What's Trending. We're now almost 24 hours after the announcement that the Chiefs are headed to Kansas. That, of course, happening yesterday. The $3 billion stadium announced, plus a training facility and Chiefs headquarters headed to Olathe. The stadium going to be in Wyandotte County. No specifics on the exact location. There's multiple pieces of land. I asked Kansas House Minority Leader Brandon Woodard that question earlier today. You'll hear our conversation right after What's Trending. Other Chiefs news on the field as it relates to Chiefs-Broncos Christmas night. Trent McDuffie not practicing today with a knee injury. Nico Remigio also a knee injury. Rashee Rice still in concussion protocol. Tyquan Thornton, same thing. Jalen Watson, a groin injury. That means not only are the top 2 wide receivers likely trending towards not playing Thursday night, but their top 2 corners could be absent from the Chiefs game. Not a great deal, of course, heading into Chiefs-Broncos. Also, one interesting note that came out of today's media availability. Yesterday, we briefly talked about Matt Nagy and the reports that his contract expires at the end of the year because there was not an extension last year. He was asked about that today from Jesse Newell over at The Athletic, and Matt Nagy declined to discuss that report that his contract is expiring. Take that for what you will. He did not want to get into that. Certainly, Matt Nagy's name has been a polarizing name in Kansas City. I think anytime you're an offensive coordinator for a team in which failed expectations, people are going to look at you, even if it's not you as the play caller. And we'll see ultimately if that means he's not back in Kansas City or not. Elsewhere in What's Trending, there were Pro Bowl nominations. I'll be honest, I really don't care about the Pro Bowl, especially now that it's the Pro Bowl games.
Yeah, I know.
And it happens Super Bowl week. But if you were wondering, Creed Humphrey has earned a nomination as a starter, as has Chris Jones. And then Travis Kelce and Trey Smith earned nominations for the 2026 Pro Bowl games, which will take place Super Bowl week up in Santa Clara, California. I don't know if they will participate or not. That'll be something that they obviously
You're not
will.
going to watch?
No. I haven't watched the Pro Bowl or Pro Bowl games in
Me either. It's been a long time.
6 years. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's been a while. Lastly, on What's Trending, we're making it quick. KU basketball got a win over Davidson last night. MU got blown out by Illinois in the bragging rights game. That is What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold with you. Cody's out today. Drew Nixon producing the show. Earlier today, Kansas House Minority Leader Brandon Woodard joined me. He serves on the Legislative Coordinating Council, that LCC, that unanimously approved the Star Bond package yesterday. He represents Lenexa, Olathe, and Overland Park. We know Olathe will have the training facility and headquarters. We obviously know the Wyandotte County is going to have the stadium. We started our conversation with Brendan about the excitement that he has and the state of Kansas has.
Yeah, this has been, conversations years in the making, and it was a surreal day, one that I think many of us didn't think we'd actually get to, but everyone worked really hard. Negotiating teams went back and forth between the state and the team, and ultimately got to something where we could say yes to it.
Was there any, doubt, I guess, on the LCC? I know you guys had, multiple conversations, to say the least, but just that going into yesterday, I know everybody was confident, but what was the turning point, I guess, when you guys started to really realize, we got a real shot at getting the Chiefs to Kansas?
Yeah, I think when it was probably a holiday party a year ago where I was introduced to representatives from the team here in Topeka talking about the potential of looking at this. And, we had just months earlier passed the Star Bond legislation allowing for us to explore attracting a major professional sports team to Kansas. I think many of us probably thought this sort of project is huge and probably too big for what we're able to do in Kansas. And so I think a lot of the focus was really aimed at the Royals, which I know that we're still, negotiating with. But I think the turning point was really in the last couple of weeks when this all really started coming together, where we were like, okay, this is something that's actually happening. Here's real proposal details being put in front of us. And, fast forward to yesterday with a unanimous vote. I think many of the questions that members of the LCC, the Legislative Coordinating Council, had were preemptively answered by the Department of Commerce, by the chiefs. And so we were able to get to a pretty quick resolution yesterday. And then, as we saw, all 8 members voted in favor of the deal.
What was, if you could, I don't know if you're able to peel back the curtain at all. You mentioned just maybe some of the concerns, of course, throughout the process that were brought up. What drawbacks, I guess, did you guys potentially identify, if you're a Kansas resident, whether we're talking about traffic, whether we're talking about certainly the financial element? Was there anything that stood out that was a hurdle for you guys?
Yeah, I think for me to kind of inform my decision-making process, I went back to the initial bill we passed in June of 2024, looking at what this sort of deal looks like, what incentives we can provide up to the 70%. I think the Chiefs deal came in at 61% of the project. But a lot of that we knew it was going to require mixed-use development. We knew it was going to require infrastructure upgrades, public safety, all those sorts of factors that were considered. And so, I think for me, it was making sure that this is, one, a good deal for Kansas, but two, you're looking at something this major. Most all of our Star Bond districts that exist right now are pretty geographically small. Obviously, this is a much, much different situation than that. So I think for me, the biggest one was, how do we pay for this in 30 years or less? With, a traditional Star Bond district, this is anything but traditional. Obviously, it includes the new growth from Olathe and Lenexa and Shawnee, Bonner and Edwardsville and KCK. And so that hopefully allows us not only to generate the revenue with new growth and all the private development that's going to happen, but also pay it off early as well.
We're talking to Kansas House Minority Leader Brandon Woodard here on 96.5 The Fan. You kind of alluded to it there a little bit, but $1.8 billion in public money, that'd be the largest public subsidy for a stadium in U.S. history. What would you say to those that are concerned about the amount of money that is going to be used to build a stadium and that training facility?
Yeah, I think, Kansas is one of the few states that has something like Star Bonds, and so it's a very unique financing tool that many, including myself, before I was in the legislature, didn't quite understand. And so I do know that they've put out a really great video on kansascommerce.gov/chiefs. It's got an explainer video on how Star Bonds work. For me, I think we've seen many of these projects throughout the time in the state of Kansas. Some have flopped, but nothing it's truly become a destination has flopped. I think the Speedway paid itself off, and I'd have to check, but about half the time that they anticipated it to happen. And so for me, when we look at these destination projects, I think, as someone who lives in Lenexa and now potentially going to be living in a Starbond district, the Starbucks that I go to now, that's existing revenue, that's base, that we're not going to see that go to the Starbond. Any new development, any of the new restaurants that we're seeing put up, new bars, new hotels, that future revenue will be part of what finances this project. And so I think, we're unique in that we can offer this incentive without putting the Kansas taxpayers on the hook. If people don't want to support the project, they can, I guess, go, over to Overland Park to buy something from a new restaurant or store versus the one in the Starbond district. In the same way that, if you're going to the stadium or you're going to the hotels or bars around it in the new tourist destination, then you're helping finance this project.
You brought up the kind of the map that has been released by the Kansas Department of Commerce for the Starbond districts. And I understand that that's preliminary. That's not the final map. But
right.
I can't help but notice, Overland Park, Leawood, some other areas are left out. Is it fair to say that's, not included potentially in case there is a Royals Starbond district that's needed?
Yeah, I mean, I know they're in constant communication and continued negotiations for the Royals, and so I think it's strategic. The bill we did pass does authorize the Secretary of Commerce, or Lieutenant Governor David Tolan, to finalize those lines and draw those lines. And so I hope that means it's good news for a potential Royals deal as well. But with this project, I think it was very strategic about the growth that we're seeing in Johnson County. Lenexa is one of the fastest growing cities in the state. So I was glad as a Lenexan that we were included in that Starbond project. But we also have some work to do, right? The Starbond legislation expires next year. Under the current law, this would bar any of those municipalities that are drawn in, those cities that are drawn into the district, from having future Starbond projects. We need to update that. But we also have some legislative fixes for this for next year, too. We have to come up with this quasi-government entity that will be the ownership group of the actual stadium facility. So we still have some work to do, but yesterday was an exciting day and at least first step in this process, but final step in getting the deal to Kansas.
Just a couple more minutes here with Kansas House Minority Leader Brandon Woodard. He was on, or is on, the Legislative Coordinating Council that approved the Starbond financing to make this all happen yesterday with the Chiefs moving to Kansas. Now, the question everybody is asking still is, all right, where's the stadium going to be? We know Wyandotte County. I think we've all speculated the Legends area. Do you have any more insight on perhaps where the stadium is going to be located for the Chiefs?
Yeah, I definitely know it'll be in Wyandotte County. It's in the Legends area. I believe that the Chiefs currently have a number of plots of land that they are operating and can work with. Of course, where I'm going to find out the exact location when everyone else does, because there's real estate and all that sort of stuff that happens. So once a project is announced, that kind of impacts everyone around them and all of their neighbors. And so I'm eager to see exactly where it's going to be, just like the rest of you.
The training facility in Olathe, I know everybody was discussing potentially a couple sites. It ends up being in Olathe, and the talk about whether or not the Olathe School District would have some role in this as well. Could you explain just a little bit on the headquarters for the Chiefs, the training facility, and what that potentially could look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really great opportunity, and that all the development that will go up around that, which will be part of the mixed-use plan that they're required to. But I think this partnership with the city of Olathe and the Olathe School District is really great, because you're going to have our athletes in the Olathe School District being able to use some of the same facilities that our Kansas City Chiefs are training in, and so I think anytime you can combine those resources, you've got things like sports medicine and all those factors that you have to include. And so I think it's a really exciting opportunity and partnership. In the same way, part of the term sheet that was released yesterday also includes, which of course, if the Chiefs are playing, that's the priority. But hopefully their plan is to include our Kansas State football championships to be played at the Chief Stadium as well. So I think this is a really great opportunity for them to invest in the communities, being good partners and good stewards with the local, school districts as well. And I think that it's just the start of hopefully many future Kansas City Chiefs that come out of the Olathe School District because they got to practice in their same practice facilities.
Last one for you. You mentioned the Royals a little bit when I asked you about the Star Bond District. When you have the amount of money that now is allocated for the Chiefs Stadium, do you feel that the state of Kansas is still positioned to get the Royals to Kansas as well?
Yeah, with Star Bonds, we don't have to pony up funds that would otherwise go to schools or roads. And so any of the Star Bond projects do finance themselves. And so I'm going to leave that to the expertise of our Commerce Secretary. And if they bring us a deal that I think we can sustain, I'll be voting for that one as well.
So that was Brandon Woodard earlier today with me talking about the stadium proposal and the Star Bond districts. And as you heard there at the end, a little bit about the Royals and where things stand there. Obviously, not a whole lot of details on the Royals end, but certainly they are still trying to work out something to get the Royals on the Kansas side of the state line as well. He is the House Minority Leader and was on the LCC yesterday that approved the Star Bond measure. 913-586-7965. Just a programming note, just so you guys know, Carrington this afternoon is expected to have Kansas Senate Majority President Ty Masterson join him today on the show. Also, Jackson County Executive Phil Lavoda and Mayor Quentin Lucas. He was on with Carrington last Friday. We played the cuts of that when he was very, very, very confident that an announcement was not going to happen. You heard the mayor speak yesterday at a press conference, and after the decision was already made, and I'll be curious to hear what the mayor has. We have times on what's
Phil
the schedule?
Lavoda at 2:15. This is per CDOT. 2:15. And Tim Phil Lavoda will be in studio, by the way.
Okay.
3 o'clock, Ty Masterson, and 4 p.m. Mayor Quentin Lucas.
Okay. Yeah. So great stuff for CDOT lined up coming up this afternoon from 2 to 6 here on 96.5 The Fan. The only other thing, because I saw a text or two coming in while we were playing back the interview that we just had with the Kansas House Minority Leader. People were discussing, the difference of the affordability aspect, and not just with the finance, but truly the affordability aspect of, hey, you got a family of 4 going to Arrowhead now versus going to whatever they're going to call the new building out at the Legends.
Aerodome,
Sure, whatever, right? Whatever they're going to. In fact, the Chiefs were asked, "What are you going to call it?" And they said they don't know yet. Mm-hmm. So whatever. They got 5 years to figure that out. And someone said, "Hey, it's going to be even less affordable." Now, I can't speak to the exact price. I would tend to agree that it's going to be more money to go to a game there. I would think that is accurate. Not to mention, if you're a season ticket holder, we'll see if they make it official at some point in time, but they probably, speculating, will have PSLs and personal seat licenses. But at the same time, we've kind of gone a little like, someone is now acting like Arrowhead is cheap now. Like, anybody that's taking a family of 4 to Arrowhead now, let's not act like you're buying $40 tickets or even $90 tickets. That's not what is happening either. So I agree with you, Texter. I think the cost to go to a game at the new stadium will be more. I don't disagree. It's also 6 years from now, so who knows where the economy is at in general. Okay, but the idea that Arrowhead is just like a bargain to go to is you haven't been to Arrowhead in a while. If that's the case.
Football in general, but particularly for a Super Bowl defending champion.
Since this run began, since the Patrick Mahomes era began, the ticket prices have consistently gone up. And as I mentioned earlier, if you're a new season ticket holder, especially if you're sitting in the club level, whether you're in 300 level, wherever, you are paying more in the first year for the ticket than you are sometimes in year 4 for the ticket. There's like an initiation type of fee. It's not a PSL, but it's that. So I don't have the exact price breakdown in front of me because I don't know what the price breakdown is going to be. The Chiefs don't know yet in the new stadium. But there's the balance of, yes, more expensive, but I don't think we should act like Arrowhead is cheap to go to now.
No, certainly not. I mean, and just, games in general, but then like you're saying, it's Arrowhead, it's also defending Super Bowl champion, it's also during this run where they're the best team in the league over the span of Patrick Mahomes' career. It's all of those things put together why the tickets at Arrowhead are the most expensive ticket and have probably been at least in that top upper echelon since Patrick Mahomes got in.
Somebody texted and said, "I can get $40 tickets right now." Okay, touche. You can for Christmas night when the team has 6 wins and it's Christmas night.
As you mentioned, 2 of their starting corners are out,
and it's going to be Oladokin at quarterback, and it's going to be no McDuffie, no Rice. No, you're right. Yes, factually you are correct. Yes, you are. You are correct on that. Someone says, in 5 years, wouldn't you expect tickets to appreciate in price regardless of where the stadium is, especially with the home? Sure. Yeah. I mean, prices for Chiefs in 2029 will be more than what it is now. So, yeah. I mean, the price at Arrowhead for a Chiefs game in 2029 will be more than